Jai Jai Sri Radheshyam and welcome back. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahman Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Guru Sri Guru Jai Guru Sri Guru Jai Guru Radharaman Jai Nitai Jai Gour Jai Jai Sri Radheshyam. From Gourang to Gourang Das, a devotional panorama of 5 centuries by my dear Vraj Gopal Das Agarwal. Before starting, I want to give the good news that the text, the PDF, the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya is not Mayapur, is already available on my Patreon. There is the PDF you can download and discover this fantastic information that is coming out about Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the real birthplace, no Mayapur but Navadvip, of course, as the Gaudiya Siddhanta is mentioning. Very interesting reading that all of you should take a look at least, regardless of your affiliation or sect that you are following. You can take a look and to have a broad perspective on what is the real true birthplace of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu and from where all the problems started. Actually, there was not a problem until some things were changed. From Gourang to Gourang Das, page 89, he arrived at the temple of the goddess Kali at Bhavanipur, Bagurha district, and performed Purascharan during the solar eclipse. Towards the end of this religious practice, Mother Divine appeared before him and put her blessing hand on his head, saying, "Go to the river Saraju. You shall meet your Guru there and have your soul's craving fulfilled." Gracious Mother appeared similarly in person to His Holiness Shankararanya Puri, the saint, who lived on the bank of the river in Ajodhya, and apprised him of Raicharan's arrival there in advance. Parenthesis, this Ajodhya is not the Ajodhya of Ramchandra. This Ajodhya is Ganges area, but in Bengal. It's not the Ramchandra Ajodhya that we know. Not only that, she asked the saint to break his vow not to have a second disciple. Mother of the universe is bound to do all this for one who gives oneself up to her. Puriraj initiated Sri Rai Sharan into the universal religion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and taught him the principles that will give him now onward. The main points of this religion are: by religion, I want to translate as Dharma. This sacred spiritual path goes many times for us Westerners. The word religion sounds like a no. We have enough of that, right? But for Indian people, as our writer, religion is the way they translate Dharma, okay? So we're speaking here about Dharma. What is the Dharma of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy? 1. To be kind to all creatures. 2. To give oneself up to the service of the Vaishnavas. 3. To relish the name of the Lord. Then one day the master bade Raicharan to proceed to Jagannath Puri and spread the name of the Lord, for it was his life's mission. Jai Ho. The worthy disciple promptly obeyed, visiting a number of holy places in the country. Raicharan at last came to Navadvip, the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya. Jai Ho! Here he came to be known by sheer coincidence as Rajan Babu, and was joined by 3 young devotee souls, all birds of one feather. This small band of like-minded souls instinctively united together just by their sentiment of universal brotherhood and, of course, oneness of some latent purpose. Now move toward Puridam. There was a Sankirtan party led by Rajan Babu, eldest as he was. Rajan Babu, in frenzy divine, moved onward, singing and dancing, laughing and weeping simultaneously. He had a sweet melodious voice and his own novel style of dancing, devotional songs, all his own inspiration will come to his lips and he will go on singing, yes, singing hymns unbidden. It was bliss to see him dance and hear him sing. Wherever he went, people spellbound will throng to see the spontaneous play of the spirit and follow him as far as possible. At last, Rajan Babu arrived at Puri, which was the main center of his activities. In the meantime, His Holiness Mahant Gaur Hari Das had given him Bek, Vaishnava Sannyas, and named him Radha Raman Sharan Das. Sri Gaur Hari Das, das Babaji Maharaj, is the directly disciple or was the direct disciple of Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Therefore, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj is also the sannyas, to say, Babaji Guru of Sri Radha Raman Sharan Das Dev. That's why many times we hear or read stories where Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj is referred as the Guru of Radha Raman Sharan Das Dev. Another interesting event that I can add to this wonderful lecture is that at the time of death, Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was holding his last breath for 7 days, asking in his Siddha Svarup to Radharaman Charan Das Dev to come to Navadvip, from Vrindavan to Navadvip. It is a wonderful story. I can comment on it in depth, in deep, as the full story on a different video. But the story goes like this. Then Radharaman, being in Vrindavan, get the news that he was dying. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was leaving the body. But he was requesting to Radharaman Charan Das Dev to go to Navadvip. Radharaman the next day took the first train and went back to Navadvip. And in Navadvip was Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj in his bed waiting for Radharaman. When Radharaman entered the room, he took Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Looking at the eyes, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was waiting for the Harinam coming from the lotus lip of Sri Radharaman Charan Das Dev. And at the moment that Sri Radharaman Charan Das Deva chant the holy name, the names of Krishna, then Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj left the body. This is an absolutely stunning story that mainly the people in English countries, English speakers or Westerners does not know about Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, but this is part of his real life stories. So that's why it's mentioned several times that Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was the guru of Radharaman Charan Das Dev, but not the Diksha Mantra Guru. Was the Bek Guru, since he was the Guru of his Bek Guru, so it's part of his parampara as Babaji. Do you understand? Interesting. His Holiness Mahant Gaur Hari Das has given him Bek, Vaishnava Sannyas, and named him Radha Raman Charan Das Dev. Radha Raman Charan Das, Jai Ho. Now he had also come to be known as Bhargava, or Bharevava, or Badevava, and people came to be initiated by him. Badevava, he really was, both physically and spiritually. He was of unusually tall stature, very high. Standing amongst thousands of people, he could be seen and recognized from a great distance. He was Bhargava otherwise too. As a true follower of Sri Chaitanya, he had great love and regard for everyone. Wasn't everybody a manifestation of his Supreme Lord? Caste, creed, and color could not alienate people from the realm of his religion. Babaji had thousands of disciples, mostly in Bengal and Odisha. He regarded even them as his gurus. They are here with me. Pointing to some of them, one said, to teach me how to conduct oneself in life. Babaji spread the name of the Lord, the Harinam, through his Sankirtans wherever he went, his Kirtanas. He held that the name was omnipotent. It stirs love not only in men, but also in the lower animals and the vegetables species as well. Such is the power of the name of the Lord that trees begin to dance, stones melt, beasts behave like cultured human beings, and the dead come to life again. Impressive. Bhargava Babaji demonstrates all this on the strength of the Lord's name. No hypnotism, no magic. The fact is, Hari and his name are one, and this alone explains the whole thing. Bhargava Babaji's perfect faith in the latter is now more than ever before. The need of the world when humanity, despite all advancement and progress, is so miserable, gone and helpless. A little more of Bhare Baba. After his initiation at Ayodhya, when Bhargava Baba reached Puri for the first time, he noticed the rare sacred footprints of Lord Gouranga on the floor near the Garud stump from where he used to have the darshan of Lord Jagannath. He noticed that all sorts of propel pilgrims, devotees and others, without protecting and caring for the sanctity of the footprints, moved across them. Bhargava Baba was pained to see it. He, with permission of the Maharaj of Puri, got the slab removed, installed near the north entrance of the temple in a small chamber, and directed Shital Charan Das, his follower and disciple, to regularly worship the footprints. That service is still continuing. For Bhare Baba, it was always very painful to note that the worship of a deity anywhere is being ignored or discontinued. He felt obligated to take up the service of such deities and the look after such temples. Radhakant, the deities of the Janjapita Math, Puri, were being worshipped by the people in order of Thakur Narottam Das Thakur. Times changed and there was nobody to look after them. They had to go to the prison and remain in police custody. When Bhargava Baba was told about it, he brought the lords of the universe back to the math. The deities are now enjoying all sorts of services rendered by the followers of Bhargava Baba. Jai Radharamana ki Jai, Mahavira Radharamana ki Jai. Bhargava Baba's sincere and loving service attracted the deities even from distant places. Radha Vinod, for example, came from Haridwar, Uttar Pradesh, and Nitai Gour from Kolkata. Radha Vinod were being served by one Bengali brahmachari. Strangely, one night the deities directed brahmachariji in a dream to take them to Bhargava Baba, Janjapita Math, Puri. Hyder Nitai Gour in Calcutta were being served in a family by Haridas, a disciple of Bhargava Baba. A few days back, Bhargava Baba had visited Calcutta. After he left for Puri, Haridas began to feel very lonely without him. He could not live there anymore and, without any prior information, came along to Puri with his Nitai Gour. Here in Puri, about 2 weeks back, Bhargava Baba had sent for a carpenter and directed him to prepare a Singhasan, holy throne, within a week. The carpenter thought that Bhargava Baba wanted just a new throne, but the latter intervened and said, "Oh no, for guests of Radhakant are arriving. Prepare a throne big enough to sit them all with the host." So, in case that this paragraph is a little bit complicated, I will explain. Happens that Nitai Gour were coming already with his pujari. And then Bhare Baba knew this already without previous information. Bhare Baba knew the things. Nitai was directing his mind, body and soul. And he asked to prepare a new throne, big, where the deities can rest or stay. Bhare Baba not only asked him to prepare the throne, but also gave him an idea of the measurements thereof. The question is, did Bhare Baba see the guest deities in his vision? The same reply, the current of love knows no distance. Bhargava Baba had also done a very strange thing. In the meantime, he had written a letter to Jogen Babu, his disciple in Kolkata, asking him to send some tobacco of good quality and a hookah with a long pipe. Anyways, about a fortnight passed, and the great curiosity of the ashramites, the sadhus living in his ashram, came to an end. Brahmachariji with his Radha Vinod and Haridas with his Nitai Gour arrived at Janjapita Mat. Radhakantaji, the host, gave them all a very hearty, warm welcome. They were, with all ritualistic formalities, seated on the new throne. The ashramites could not believe their ears when Brahmachariji said, Radha Vinod, smoke a pipe. He said it and put forth the tobacco and the pipe he had brought with him. Jogen Babu's parcel had already arrived. Barha Baba very enthusiastically offered the Lord the brand new articles. Ashramites began to dance when they noticed the tobacco smoke in the Lord's room and smelled the divine fragrance of the tobacco. Parenthesis. What happens that these deities, Radha Vinod, that actually are here in Vrindavan, not far from where I live, those Radha Vinodini, they smoke hookah, smoke tobacco, and I have a video in English here in the channel Sarva Shakti that I film and I show the deities. You can check my playlists or videos. The video has a title, Krishna Smokes, This Krishna Smokes, something like that. So our Ramacharan Das Dev also knew that they were coming and they have this taste for tobacco. What we can say to Krishna, Krishna can do anything. He is Thakur. No, not that we are the Ishvara. He is the Ishvara. If he wants to smoke, okay, go ahead. We are here for serving him, not to serve us. So this is what is happening here. What a beautiful lila. Thank you. It was recorded that Advaitacharya, Nityanand and Gourang used to weep and feel restless on account of the suffering humanity over man's depravity. Had anybody heard that one can weep and feel restless to see the miseries of the people in a picture? Barha Baba wept when he saw a portrait of Narak, an image of hell. And this lila is mind-blowing, but we will read on the next video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to inspire you in your daily sadhan, daily bhakti with the transcendental lilas of Radha Ramancharan Das Dev, that honestly, after Gauranga Mahaprabhu, I cannot see anyone with this Shakti power and with that level of love that we receive through the reading of his lilas. Jai Guru, Sri Guru, Jai Guru, Sri Guru, Jai Guru Radha Raman, Jai Nitai, Jai Gaur, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. See you in the next.